Now, for more on all this is Pennsylvania Congressman and member of the House Foreign Affairs Committee, Congressman Dan Meuser. So nice to have you back on the show.
Thank you. Good to be with you.
I'm just curious. 2,461 died over the last 20 years in Afghanistan and in the Middle East. 13, of course, last Thursday. The administration is trying to celebrate this as a victory. I don't see how this can be a victory, given that we've got at least 100 Americans, at least that we know about, still in Afghanistan that want out.
Yeah, Rob, 20 years ago, we had many thousands of brave men and women. Americans went in to stop terrorism, to stop Osama bin Laden, to stop some of the biggest threats our country has ever seen. I had daughters in New York. We were all concerned as to what was taking place. Now, 20 years later, pretty much every wrong move that could possibly have been made was made along the way. The intel was not followed. September 11th was the goal of this White House to have their hero moment. This was a politically driven event, and therefore, and full of this wokeness, which wokeness, by the way, has a level of stupidity, which is based upon pretending to help people and frankly lying about it along the way. And the propaganda machine is in full force. Here we have the Taliban celebrating, and who knows? There might be some muted celebrating taking place at the White House, but much of the media is also engaged in stating how the longest war in America's history is now ended, and we've got a mess of epic proportions.
Nothing is ended yet, and you're right. They should have been focused on a responsible drawdown plan instead of the woke, making the military more woke. What a complete failure that's been. General McKenzie, commander of CENTCOM, says that there's been a shift in this operation from one thing to another. Take a listen.
Our desire to bring these people out remains as intense as it was before. The weapons have just shifted, if you will, from the military realm to the diplomatic realm, and the Department of State will now take the lead.
Do you think maybe we're being a little bit too optimistic at how cooperative the Taliban are going to be in helping to get U.S. citizens out of the country that want to get out but weren't able to get to the Kabul airport?
I think it's outrageous. I think we will be victims of wishful thinking if this nonsense continues to move forward. Look, the Taliban ideology has not changed. You've got 100,000 Afghans running for their lives, clinging onto airplanes, trying to get out. That should be enough intel to show that the Taliban ideology has not changed. Look, we've got some serious issues moving forward. First of all, we have many Americans left behind. We have all kinds of equipment left behind, which is outrageous, that is being used by the Taliban, as we know, our enemy. We have the screening issues, who's coming through. We've got, potential terrorist breeding taking place. And now we have to expend tremendous resources on intel, both here domestically and there, to assure that these horrible things don't happen that happened 20 years ago.
Congressman, you're on the House Foreign Affairs Committee, and excuse me for interrupting you. I'm curious what your intelligence, because people are concerned. We've got a poll that just came out, a Morning Consult poll. 43% of Americans are concerned that we're going to be attacked again. We hope and pray that we don't go through another 9/11 style attack. But are we just waiting now as the Taliban and ISIS-K regroup and we armed them? Are we just waiting for another attack?
We had many classified and unclassified meetings along the course here leading up to the fateful day of August 31st, which was an outrage in itself. That caused all kinds of chaos, all kinds of rushing at the airports, which certainly led to the issues and problems and fatalities that occurred to our 13 latest brave men and women. But yes, we do have such concerns. We need a higher level of diligence. And the problem is this: the intel and the military were stating that withdrawal would face many problems. There was no likely scenario of this thing being peaceful. So to this day, I have no idea what the White House could have been talking about, because we had General Milley and many others speaking in pretty dire manner as to where things were going to go from here. And Rob, something that needs to be known: people need to realize that Democrats are going to do everything they can to get past this, to get us to forget about it. Their partners in the media will do the same. And meanwhile, they're trying to pass $5 trillion in added spending that somehow we're supposed to trust them with, and federal takeover of election laws.
Congressman, they've already tried to shift the focus in their coverage of this thing today. We'll hear from the president this afternoon, not in prime time, which I think is telling in and of itself. He's not going to address the nation in prime time. He's going to do so sort of in a hideout way this afternoon at 1:30. We'll wait and hear what he says then. Congressman Dan Meuser, thanks so much for your time. We look forward to seeing you again.
Thanks very much.